Welcome back. We're talking about brain health and neurological disorders in children. And I want to read out this, or just say out this quote before we get into it. It says this: I am convinced that proper digestion is the great secret of life. And it's by a philosopher called Sidney Smith. I got to tell you, when I first read this quote, it was actually given to me by one of our professors in biochemistry when I was writing my first book. And I asked him for quotes, and that's what he sent to me. And I got to confess, when I first saw it, I was like, what is this? This is a biochemistry professor. He should be talking about things like DNA or RNA, some biochemical equation that is highfalutin. What's this about digestion? I mean, what does that have to do with anything? And in my ignorance, I just kind of put it aside. But over the years, especially when we've started working with children with brain disorders, we've come to see, and for me, it's been an absolute revolution, a breakthrough, really. And I really feel that it's something that neurologists and neuroscientists, and especially those pediatric neurologists who deal with children with brain disorders, I really feel it's something that they need to know and they need to understand, because this is crucial to how especially if you're dealing with a child with a brain disorder, it's crucial to their development. So why is digestion, or why is the digestive system so important in brain health? And again, we weren't taught this much in medical school. Obviously, is that food comes in through the mouth and into the digestive system. Your body to recover, for your body to heal itself, to repair itself, for your body to function, to metabolize, for your eyes to see, they all need nutrients. And these nutrients could be building blocks, they could be enzymes to help to facilitate chemical reactions in the body. So definitely the digestive system is important to break it down. That's the obvious part. The other not so obvious parts are the fact that the digestive system and the brain are connected intricately by nerves. In fact, the digestive system is called the second brain. And the reason why it's called the second brain is that it has, of all the organs in the body, of all the systems in the body, it has the next highest number of nerve cells. It has an intricate, highly complex nervous system, and it relays and regulates and does a lot of things, and it relays this information back and forth. So there's this super highway, so to speak, between the brain and the digestive system. As a matter of fact, some of the neurotransmitters, the things that make the brain work, actually created in the digestive system. And a good example is a neurotransmitter called serotonin. Serotonin has been hugely involved in research, especially in depression. And the drugs that have been created related to serotonin have become what they call blockbuster drugs. They've made a huge amount of money. Pharmaceutical companies have made a huge amount of money from serotonin-like drugs. But these drugs are made, 95% of them are made in the gut as opposed to the brain. In addition, they are consumed in the gut, close to 90% or some large number, ridiculous amount of that is being created and consumed in the gut. Also, there's another neurotransmitter you've probably heard of called dopamine, which is like the feel-good hormone or neurotransmitter. It's also made, quite a bunch of it is made in the gut. So again, this is just to talk about the importance of the gut to overall brain function. The other aspect that is gaining more and more prominence are the bacteria and the bugs. And when I say bugs, I like to use the word bugs more than bacteria, because it's not just bacteria. We have viruses, we have parasites, we've got the plasmodia, all kinds of foreign, quote unquote, foreign material or foreign organisms in the gut that play a huge role in the transmission of impulses from the brain to the back to the gut. If that ecosystem is out of balance, and the actual balance should be 85% good bacteria or good bugs to 15% bad bugs, if that balance is offset, then chaos can ensue. And so again, we're saying that because we now see, and this the technology is just beginning to develop to actually identify all these different bugs. When we're in medical school, we just knew a few kinds, but now with technology and imaging techniques, we can now see these bugs and actually see their action in the body. And so these bugs, why I'm talking about them so much, is that when we have kids with neurological disorders, you can almost guarantee that with that neurological damage, there has been the gut, whether it's the lining of the gut or the flora or the ecosystem of the gut or even the nerves of the gut, have also been affected adversely. So it's not enough just to treat the brain and just treat seizures. We now know that to a very large extent, if we actually pay attention to the gut, improve gut health, improve the healing and the lining of the gut, and even affect the balance, directly affect the balance of the probiotics, what are known as probiotics, which are the good bacteria. There are things that we can do, again, using safe agents like what we call nutraceuticals. There are things you can do to actually address and even improve emotional health, cognitive health, brain function that we never thought was possible before. And I think this is really, really exciting, especially for those of us who live in third world countries where we don't have access to the kind of expertise that would deal with these conditions. Let me give you a quick example. We have fewer than 100 psychiatrists in this country. Psychiatrists are doctors who deal with the mind and mood disorders, emotional mood disorders. We have fewer than 100. Think about that. We have over 200, well, not over, but close to 200 million people in Nigeria. And a lot of us need help, I can tell you that right now. And it's getting worse, especially with the increase in abuse of drugs, illicit drugs. One of the producers was just talking about how in the next few years we're going to see an epidemic of mood disorders because of the use of these drugs. So we have a huge, huge, huge problem ahead of us. And I think that looking at the gut and paying attention to the gut, in addition to working with the brain, can take us so much further in dealing with these conditions and hopefully providing relief for these kids who, quite frankly, have done nothing wrong. They just were unfortunate to have not been given the right kind of attention, or they were in the wrong place at the time of their birth. So, to wrap this segment up, the gut-brain connection is crucial, and a healthy digestive system, I cannot overemphasize it, a healthy digestive system is crucial for brain function. And in the next segment, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Thank you.